Huawei is very dangerous. Rarely does a country go to war with a private company. We have met the enemy and it is Huawei. We're not going to do business with Huawei. Huawei represents a national security risk. But is this really about Huawei or is it something bigger than that? Bye-bye Google. Imagine a complete digital world without a single Google service. No Google Search, no Gmail, no YouTube, no Android. A few years ago, that would have seemed impossible. Today, it's happening. Huawei isn't just surviving without Google. It's thriving. And this shift could completely reshape the technology landscape as we know it. The turning point came in 2019 when US sanctions blocked Huawei from using Google services. Most analysts predicted disaster for Huawei. Instead, the company turned adversity into opportunity. By 2025, Huawei has built a tech ecosystem that rivals Google's dominance in key markets around the world. At the heart of this transformation is Harmony OS 5, Huawei's homegrown operating system now running on over 900 million devices worldwide, from smartphones to TVs to cars. Unlike Android, which relies heavily on Google's framework, Harmony OS was built from scratch to be fast, secure, and flexible. In China, where Google's services were already limited, Harmony OS has captured an impressive 25% market share in smartphones, second only to non-Google versions of Android. This isn't just a local phenomenon. Harmony OS is designed to work across devices seamlessly, offering an integration that even Apple hasn't fully achieved. But an operating system is only as good as its services. That's where Petal Search comes in, Huawei's answer to Google Search. It's not just a search engine. It's a gateway to apps, news, and services tailored to local markets. Petal Search now handles millions of queries daily across Asia. And Huawei is aggressively expanding it into Europe and Africa, targeting users looking for alternatives to Google's data-hungry algorithms. The numbers tell the story of Huawei's remarkable rise. The company's app gallery now boasts over 580 million monthly active users. Still behind Google Play's 2 billion, but growing rapidly. In hardware, Huawei's Mate 70 series, powered by their own Kirin 9100 chip, is outselling competitors in China. This isn't just about phones. Huawei's cloud services are expanding quickly, offering businesses an alternative to Google Cloud with competitive pricing and local data compliance. What makes this shift particularly remarkable is that Huawei built this ecosystem under extreme pressure. When US sanctions cut off access to advanced chip manufacturing, most experts thought Huawei's smartphone business was finished. Instead, the company doubled down on innovation. The Kirin 9100 chip in their latest devices proves they found ways to advance their technology despite these restrictions. In China, Huawei smartphone sales hit 35 million units in 2024, a 40% increase year-over-year, while Android's growth stagnated. This isn't just a victory in terms of sales. It demonstrates that Huawei can build and sustain a Google-free ecosystem that satisfies millions of users. The app gallery's growth is fueled by strategic partnerships like their deal with Tencent, ensuring that must-have apps like WeChat are available and optimized. Google isn't standing still, of course. The company is enhancing Android 15 with improved privacy features and doubling down on AI integration through Gemini. Google is also cutting Play Store fees for small developers to fend off rivals like Huawei. But the company faces its own challenges. Mounting regulatory pressure in Europe and growing privacy concerns among users worldwide have created openings for alternatives like Huawei. So what does this mean for you? If you're in a Google-dominated market, sticking with Android still makes sense for now. Its apps and services are deeply integrated into daily life. But Huawei's rise gives us all something we desperately need: choice. Harmony OS offers a different approach to mobile computing, one that's snappy, secure, and increasingly capable. The Mate 70 series showcases what's possible: foldable screens, 100W fast charging, and innovative AI features at prices often lower than comparable Google Pixel devices. There's a catch, though. Outside China, Huawei's phones don't have Google apps, so you'll need workarounds for YouTube or Gmail. The app gallery is improving, but it's not yet as comprehensive as the Play Store in Western markets. For businesses, particularly those operating in Asia, Huawei's cloud and AI offerings are becoming increasingly compelling. With data laws favoring local providers in many regions, Huawei Cloud provides both technical capabilities and regulatory compliance. Developers might appreciate App Gallery's lower fees compared to Google's 30% cut, though Google's development tools remain more mature for now. Looking ahead, Huawei's ambitions are clear. The company aims to have Harmony OS on 1 billion devices by 2026. They're enhancing Petal search with AI capabilities to rival Google's knowledge graph and targeting markets like India, where Google's dominance isn't absolute. Huawei is also making significant investments in 6G research and smart city technologies, areas where Google's presence is still developing. The wild card in all this remains geopolitics. US-China tensions continue to shape a technology landscape potentially limiting Huawei's global expansion. But even with these constraints, Huawei has proven remarkably resilient. Their success shows that the tech world is becoming less US-centric, with new ecosystems emerging that follow different rules and priorities. What's particularly fascinating about Huawei's rise is how quickly they've evolved from their humble beginnings. Founded in 1987 in Shenzhen as a rural sales agent for Hong Kong-based phone networks, Huawei spent its first decade largely invisible to Western consumers. By 2006, they were still primarily a B2B company, providing networking infrastructure to telecom operators worldwide. This behind-the-scenes role allowed them to build expertise and scale without attracting much attention. When they finally decided to push their own branded consumer devices, they brought decades of technical knowledge and manufacturing expertise to the table. It wasn't luck that positioned Huawei to survive being cut off from Google. It was years of building deep technical capabilities across the entire technology stack. What we're witnessing isn't just a competition between two companies. It's a fundamental shift in how technology evolves globally. The era of American tech dominance is giving way to a more diverse landscape with multiple centers of innovation. Companies like Xiaomi and Samsung are also developing their own ecosystems, creating a more complex and competitive environment. For consumers, this diversity means more options, potentially better privacy protections, and technologies tailored to local needs rather than Silicon Valley's vision of the future. It also means navigating more complex choices about which ecosystem to invest in, decisions that will affect everything from which apps you can use to how your data is handled. Huawei's rise doesn't mean Google is finished. Far from it. With billions of users and deep integration into digital life, Google remains a formidable force. But the company can no longer take its dominance for granted. The future of tech won't be defined by a single ecosystem or approach, but by multiple competing visions, and Huawei is ensuring their vision will be a major part of that conversation. So, is it time to say goodbye to Google and hello to Huawei? For most users outside China, that moment hasn't arrived yet. But the fact that we can even ask that question shows how much the tech landscape has changed. The future is no longer written exclusively in Silicon Valley, and that's a development worth watching closely. What do you think? Are you ready to explore alternatives to Google's ecosystem? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit subscribe, like, and share it with others who care about the future of technology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.